mentorship session. Um, the, agen- the agenda of our session is going to be like leveraging LLMs for our JSPF journey. So first things first, I would like to appreciate you all. You have decided to spend like an hour of your Sunday and sit back and spend some time so that like you can enhance your like academics or like career and everything, right? So first appreciation on that. So let me quickly introduce about myself. I'm Balaji M. Completed my BTech in Instrumentation and Control Engineering from NIT Trichy in 2022. Post that I worked as in business technical and solutions associate at GS till like 2024, almost for 2 years. Post that I joined like PGDBA program, which is a postgraduate diploma in business analytics offered by ISI Kolkata, IIT Kharagpur, and IIM Calcutta. So I'll be completing this program next year, April. And as a last semester of this program, we have our internship where which I'm currently pursuing at DISHA as a financial research intern. And I'm right now in Hyderabad. If any of you would like to meet, feel free to ping me. So yeah, I think we can get started. So probably let's go with a task, I would say. So we have now like three response for one question, which is why should I be awarded the CSPF scholarship? Now, like let's say this is one and this is two and this is three. Like now, like there will be a poll available to you. Now you can like answer in the poll like which do you think is an human like answered one. And similarly, you can do that for the statement two as well.
I hope everyone's able to see the poll. It should be on your screen right now. Only two people have participated so far.
Feel free to participate, guys. There are three questions, and like that would I mean set up a context to the entire discussion that we have ahead. And this carries no marks for the JSPF journey, so feel free to participate.
Please let us know if you're not able to see the poll. It should already show up in your um, window. It should come as a pop-up.
Great, I can see more and more people participating. That's really nice. Nice, guys. Just like two more, like whomsoever is remaining, right? Just fill up and then we can like move ahead.
If you're not able to see the poll, I put up a QR code so you can scan that on your phone and you should be able to participate.
Great. Like almost all of you had, I mean, or like put up your response over there. Thank you. Thanks for like providing your answers. So yeah, like we'll see like what is there in the site. So yeah, so if you go forward, like you see like the one on the left, right? That is something sort of and human written. So this was completely written by me, and I didn't take any help from AI for writing this. And then the second, like it was entirely given by like a GPT-5 model from ChatGPT OpenAI. And then once I had these two, right, I went on and tried to create a better version, which is definitely better than what I had written first. That is the last, that is human plus AI version. And then an AI version which was little flat and which was direct on the face that this is little AI. And I tried to like add my own experience and try to have a human touch to that. And there comes a human plus AI. So this is going to be like our central point of today's discussion, where how human and AI, when they work together, the productivity can quadruple to a greater extent, or like it can increase, like it can multiply to a greater extent. And moving ahead, like since you are in your first year, this would be a right time to like learn about these things and get ahead in the curve. So yeah. So first, like now, I hope like I'll be getting some response. So what do you think as LLM? What are LLMs according to you? Like, feel free to have like express your own intuitive thought. It need not be like very formal or like exact computer science oriented. I'm there. I'll be like presenting that. But I want to like just trying to understand. Okay, what are your thought process so that we can have a discussion accordingly. Urvika, do you want to say something? I think you're on unmuted. Guys, like really feel free to talk. When you express yourself, it will be like really helpful for us to take up the discussion forward. And if when you start expressing, right, I'll try to take the session, I'll try to explain things accordingly so that it would be like the most fruitful for you as well. And it doesn't be like I'm just like expressing what I know. So yeah, that is the total agenda of this session. So yeah, please go ahead. So LLMs are nothing but they are kind of a very simple chatbot that are trained on the data which is available on and off the internet. So you have seen chatbots like if you have used applications like Zomato, Swiggy, or say Myntra, or like some of the chatbots that are available at IRCTC or other web applications, which when you ask a question, they reply you with some answers about the services those firms provide, right? They are chatbots. And LLM are kind of a chatbot which is like trained on a massive data. So what could be these data? These data, the data includes things like public internet text, like the chats that you have, and books like that are part of the academic curriculum, and even beyond that, the academic texts like research papers or conference publishments that we have, and then the code repositories that are available in platforms like GitHub and many other, and the conversational data that goes across social media platforms, right? These are basically some of the key data which are being used in like training these models. So these LLMs, right, they tend to understand the pattern between interaction among the words and the ideas, and not they try to like extract the exact words from the book. And this is one key aspect of LLM which is being told. LLMs are not reproducible. Suppose like if you are writing and say 1,000 word text, right? And then if you ask the same question again to LLM, and it might produce a different 1,000 words, and the chances of those 1,000 words being same, right, it is almost negligible. That is why LLMs are known to be not reproducible. And some of the common LLMs that are there in the today's domain is that something like OpenAI's like ChatGPT and Google's Gemini, and then Anthropic's Claude. So I hope like you all know, right? Recently there was a Google Gemini Pro offer that was available to Indian students. I hope like most of you had utilized that. And yeah, what is an LLM formally? I know there are a lot of new terms in this. I'm just like putting this in front of you. It is like it is fine if you don't understand to the 100% as well. I'll try to explain. If you have any doubt, just put it in chat. Also later also you can use the same LLMs to understand. Okay, what are these words in the mean? So these are something like a pre-trained neural language model with a large number of parameters. A parameter is something like how often a cell is to a human body, right? These parameters are to the like these neural network models, and they are kind of the building like cell blocks of these models, which are trained on like massive corpora of unlabeled text, which is the text data that I had mentioned previously. Where there are some methods called to self-supervised objectives to model the probability distribution of token sequence. Now here, what does the probability distribution means is that suppose, let's say, there is a question like now you're writing a sentence and it says today is dash. Now, if the data that I had took trained, like it is more about the weekdays, right? Then my answer would be something like today is Sunday. Or if it is something about the weather that I took, right, then it will say today is a rainy day. So here it tries to predict based on the like data that it has been trained, what would be the more relevant word based on the context. So that is what being explained by the probability distribution, and which is also capable of generalizing these to like a lot of downstream language tasks. So there are multiple language tasks. So something like text classification or predicting the next word, sentiment prediction. Like there are a lot of words like that. So this is a formal setup of LLMs. Now, so I also wanted to like introduce you to two other things. One is that if you're more interested towards the technical aspects of LLMs, right? There is a like YouTube playlist which is offered by like IIT Madras. Mr. Professor Mitesh Kapra had like offered this. This is something like NLP and DL together, and it is little like I mean it is a little easier to for you to understand when you try to read along with the LLMs. So like if you are interested in the technical aspects, give it a try, and here is the link of that. Definitely this PPT would be shared with you. During that time you would be able to see that. And another thing is that, which is probably the next material, which is a research paper called Attention is All You Need. This is a research paper like which like marked the start of or like making of the LLMs. And based on this research paper only, like whatever like current day LLMs that we are seeing now, that are all like made. This is sort of the engineering core of all the LLMs. And this is not some, since LLM is the most advanced thing, right? You might think, okay, this paper will also be too advanced, but that's not the case. Attention is all you need is a paper where like with the help of LLMs, a first year student would be able to comfortably understand and learn that. And again, if at all, if you find anything, any difficulties in these, even which is not sortable by like these LLMs, right? Feel free to ping me. I would be happy to like help you out there. Now let's get into a section. So what can be done with LLMs? So there are different aspects, like different use cases that can be done with the help of LLMs. Something like first is like knowledge and reasoning. Just now I told, right, you can learn any concept that is present across the like academic arena, and you can like tell LLM, okay, like I am so and so, I have like I'm a sort of first year student. I know this much in this area, like about say let's say physics. I know like kinematics. I know like thermodynamics. I know these things. Based on this, I want to learn a new concept and try to explain according to like what all things I know. LLMs would be great at doing that. trust me, like I've been like in my masters currently, like I'm in studying, and LLMs have been like very great at explaining a lot of concepts which are like very nuanced and very new to me, and it can be completed in a very short span. So that's a very good advantage of using LLM. Writing and content creation, which is something we are going to discuss in today's session after probably a few minutes. So I'll take up this part in that section. And then we have the coding and technical help. So, when I was in working, we tend to create projects. So suppose if it goes for some 6 to 8 weeks, right? Once LLM came, we were able to like get it done in sort of 4 to 5 weeks. I mean, the codes were produced like very quickly, and initially there were few issues with the debugging of the codes, and as the LLMs are getting more and more advanced, the debugging part is also like almost sorted, and now like we are really good with that. So like when you start, like if you're starting to work towards the coding domain, then again LLMs would be of great help to you. And then something like translation communication is like the way we use Google Translate, and then like it can also help us in polishing our language. So these are some of the advantages out of LLMs. And one of the more critical area is that the research, innovation, and ideation, especially around the ideation part, right? So if you are coming up with a new idea, say even for your project abstract in the JSPF journey, so you can ask like, this is something I'm planning to do. How feasible is this? What could be the more measures that could be added upon to this? And what are the materials that are currently available around this area? These are something like that LLM could be like helping you very comfortably. And coming up next is something about personal development. So suppose, say you want to create a tracker on taking up a task. Suppose you haven't your midsem higher. Now for your midsem, you would be having certain chapters. This could be a portion. Now LLMs can very well create you in sort of a planner where they can group like similar concepts together, and then like they can create a flow such a way that it is like serially essential to have, such that you complete A, then you would be able to understand B, such that it would sort of put it in a serial order and create a very well diverse plan, which would be useful for your examination. And there are multiple use cases where LLMs could be used for personal development. And last is something data analysis on automation. And this is something like which is widely used in the job domain currently. So suppose there are a lot of once we are moving more and more into the AI domain, right? A lot of data is used to train the models as well. And the more we get digital, like the more and more data gets accumulated. So for these data, right? So like in order to analyze these data, we definitely need automation, and like with the through human eyes, it is simply not possible. So like these LLMs try to like understand the data. They tend to like provide insights out of the data. They tell you like what are the patterns present in the data. And the other part is that the automation, where LLMs help us in like automating the routine tasks. And going ahead, like a lot of automation is going to happen across, which is actually it is something at its peak right now. So like most of the things would be more routine things would be automated. And when you get into the work domain, you would be more mostly like working towards more innovative problems rather than daily routine jobs, so to say. So LLM sounds like very exciting, right? It has like huge diverse use cases, and it could be like enormously beneficial to us. But what is the future ahead looks like? It looks even more exciting. So what we have ahead is like VLM, which is called Vision Language Model. All this time we talk to an LLM Chat GPT or like Gemini just through our text, right? And it also responds back in text. Now, probably in some of the platforms, you started getting images. Something like Ghibli Trend was one example. Now the next version is that you can create like a lot of videos, and you probably would have got to know about Sora. ChatGPT Sora is one thing, and it came to that extent in such a way that people have started making 2 to 3 hours long feature films through these LLMs. So, and the movies won't look like a lot animated and looks like how we see a regular movie in our theaters or kind of that. That is how exciting is the days ahead with the VLMs. And the next set is something RL based multi-models. This is something like pretty nascent at this point in time. Probably once you complete, when you're about to complete your graduation, right? This might like even get like more limelight than what it is right now. So what are RL based multi-models? RL is something called reinforcement learning. And basically how it works is that, so suppose there is a task and you do that task. Now the machine would get a reward to that. I mean, everything is performed by a machine. There's a task, machine would perform that task. It would perform in 4 different ways and 4 different rewards it would get. So whichever is the maximum reward, now it will like learn that this is something that I have to do, and it keeps doing the same thing. It keeps on learning and it keeps on improvising it. So that is something RL based multi models, and these are something that tend to behave like mimic more like human like behavior in the days ahead. And this is a very active research area. If you are interested, just like look about it. Now, I've told a lot about LLM. So is LLM can do everything? The answer is actually no. LLMs cannot do like a lot of things. What are they? So first is that they won't be able to like truly understand the meaning. Say like I mean they what they try to do is, as I explained earlier, they have a trained material and they try to predict words. That's all. They don't exactly try to understand what you're trying to mean or what is exactly present there. No, they have no idea about that. They just try to predict a new word, and they won't be able to access real time or private data. Suppose like there are web search options right now, but even though like if something happened now, say at 10 o'clock at somewhere at some part of the world, they won't be able to know, they won't be able to reply for that questions. And LLMs do never like guarantee the truth. Again, it's just a prediction. So whatever is true, we have to verify on our own, and that is where some at some point in time like human intervention is useful. And the next aspect is that they won't reason logically like humans. So it doesn't like, I mean, if you try to ask like more logical aspects, if it is being trained on that aspect, then it would answer, or else it would like try not to answer that. So that is eventually leading to the fact that they won't be understanding the physical world or human emotions, anything. And invention, until this point in time, LLMs are not capable to invent new things or create new knowledge. So there is, that is where I told about RL. They might in future do that, and but again, it is also in a very nascent stage. And finally, what we have is like replacing human judgment, which is like not at all possible. And even like though like they transform the way we do the jobs, right? The AI and LLM stuff, but they can't replace humans. It's just that we do our work in a quite different way. Now, what are the ethical aspects of LLM? So this is something like pretty important. I'll put it now. We'll also discuss it little later. But this is something which is critical to know, as we are going to be like surrounded with LLM a lot in the upcoming days. LLM is going to replicate the data that is being it is trained on. If the data that is being trained on has a bias, then the response that is going to get out of the LLM is also going to be biased. And fairness, I think we shouldn't completely rely on LLMs for fairness. There has been a research out like recently. It told that LLMs tend to be more like individualistic and represent like Western aspects. It is being like mm, try to sort of demonstrate though little bit aligned towards that angle. But yeah, I think over the days like that would also be taken care of is what I believe. And next, plagiarism and academic integrity. This is something very critical. Like, I see a lot of academical institutions also looking behind this. So when we would be able to access a lot of information, relevant information, very quickly with the help of LLMs. When we do this, we have to ensure that we give due credit to the people who had created this work, and also we don't like simply like get the content out of it and not learn much out of it. And then third is a very important thing for you guys, that is dependence and skill erosion. So right now is LLM is there. Now any question, any assignment, any task that is being given to you in college, right? If you put it in LLM, you'll get in minutes, not even hours. You'll get it in minutes. You'll be able to complain an entire assignment which previously used to take some 5 hours, 6 hours in less than an hour. But what is the problem out there? So there has been a study conducted by MIT. They had recently put up that over reliance on LLMs, right? They kill the innovation that is there in us. So like we tend to get like stagnated. We don't tend to learn new things. And trust me, like if like it is a very good habit at college, like during your formative years in college, to not to over rely on LLM. Use LLM to learn more, understand more, ideate, like have a like very good discussion with LLMs, but don't completely just take the work from LLM and like call it as your work. That is really really important, not just to get like for academic purposes, but at a personal level also it will be like affecting you a bit. So it's always advisable to use LLMs just to like enhance us, but not to like sort of fake our work. Yeah, that is it about it. Now now is something like more relevant to our JSPF journey, right? So in JSPF journey, our first component is something about the project abstract. So what I try to do is that we can divide a project abstract into like 8 different parts. So and on the right, what you have is an like a table. So if you know, right, your project is supposed to be like 4 weeks. So what I thought is that I created a plan so that these 8 tasks could fit in this 4 weeks. And the right side you have is the days that are present over there. The different parts are something like ideation, planning, design, implementation, analysis, documentation, presentation, and reflection. So we'll be discussing each part subsequently in the upcoming slides. And this is a timeline. It's just a rough estimate. You need not stick to it absolutely. You can have your own plan, but this plan would be something that could help you out, and you can plan your like project abstract accordingly, or how you want to implement your project accordingly. So a project is something 4 weeks, so which I took it as like 20 days. And on the right of this, you have the number of days. And if you count all them together, it will be coming out to be 20. So what are there in project abstract? So it starts with ideation. And so what is an ideation? So that's a phase where like you brainstorm different project ideas. And once you got an idea, you can like you can see the literature, what are all available. And if there is any gap, you can find those gaps. And you can also like suggest like research questions to LLMs, like or to be part of your work, and then list the data sets of or like how to perform the experiments. These things can be done. And how can a prompt be for this? This could be one of the way where you can have a prompt. So here you can have generate 3 project ideas in the domain of whatever you wanted to work based on your engineering discipline or your area of interest. You can put it there, focusing on the societal aspects. So this might be something you wanted to happen, right? When I do this project, this is the outcome that you would like to have. So that aspects could be part of B, suitable for a 4-week undergraduate project. So this is something like the duration that you have. And this prompt, when I tried it out, it pretty gave a very detailed ideas. And I think we would be able to comfortably pick few which are like aligned to your area of interest, and also which is feasible by you for you. The second aspect is something like design and planning. So this is a phase. First it goes with planning, where once you got an idea, then you will plan it like what are the tasks that you would do, and like how much time you want to spend in each. And that is something even I had put up in previous slide also. And in the planning phase, you can also what you can do is like you can organize the task in such a way that like it is I mean the dependencies are correctly met, and you can like chart out that plan and execute that plan. So, and then the next one is the design phase, where you say like suggest the methods, experimental setups, architecture sketches. I mean, you won't do all in a single project. Each thing might be relevant to each. Suppose like someone is taking up research, for them like it would be something experimental setups. For someone like who's getting into pure coding, for them it would be pseudocode and like architecture structures, etc. And then if you are doing some sort of like ML work, then you can do something like evaluation metrics and baseline design. So it depends on which domain you are taking up, and you can take up the relevant task out of here. And this could be again a prompt which could be useful for you, where you create a 4-week project plan for the given title that you chose from the ideation phase. And you can split into weekly milestone, task, and dependencies, and propose a design and methodology to test this objective. Like where you can also ask it to include the tools and softwares through which you can implement this if you are completely starting out from scratch. That is the beauty of LLM. So even though if you are completely new to a domain, right, with the help of LLM you can learn more, and then like even in a few like days of time, right, you can compete with someone who has already like spent some good amount of time in the domain. The next phase is a very important phase, and probably this is where you will be spending a long time in a project abstract. That is the implementation phase. So this is where you generate code snippets, scripts to automate tasks, and probably you be debugging, and you would be setting up the instructions and command examples. So here the prompts could be something like, I'm just giving if it is a development coding project. So write a Python script to perform like so and so so tasks where the code is in a modularized form, which is pretty important, and save a summary CSV. Again, it's for optional for you to have comments, but it's a good practice to have it. And this is a phase where you, with the help of like LLMs, you can know what are the different ways we can implement a project, and you would be able to like get it done. And then we have the phase which is analysis phase, where this is something like once you implement it, you would be getting some sort of output or you sort of results kind of thing. Now you get to analyze, okay, what is this information, what is this story out of this data, and how is this useful to my objective, and what could be sort of like produced further. So this is something which is done in the analysis phase. Now we can say, okay, I have these observations. Now like suggest me different ways like plots or visualization to like observe these outputs, and what could be inferred out of this could be part of analysis phase. And then documentation, which is a pretty important task, but a lot of times we get to like skip it. That shouldn't happen. Actually, a documentation is something which is very helpful, especially when you do things in a long term, which you, so that like someone can come back and refer this and then incorporate from out of this. So documentation phase, you would be drafting the abstracts, introduction, methodology text, and so on, so other important aspects. And they are like LLMs can also help you in formatting the reference and generate the concise executive summaries, which are very important when you want to explain your project to someone in a very short time. So suppose if you are meeting someone like from a very higher position, they might not have a lot of time to hear our story, right? So for them, probably we have to put it in a very short span so that they would also be able to understand it quickly. So you can use prompts like write a 250-word project abstract from these aspects where the way you tell about your project, and you can set the tone either like a academic tone or a corporate tone or like informal tone. Anything and everything would be part of this, and you can tell what are the three like 2 to 3 words which you feel it should be important and part of the story that you're going to tell. And finally, we have something presentation and reflection. This is where you create a slide outlines and speaker notes. And this is where you decide, okay, I have done all these work. Now, how am I going to present it to others? And here, like, it would be super helpful to use LLMs, and LLMs would make your day like pretty simpler, and you would be able to complete your task quickly as well. So that is around presentation and reflection. So yeah, these are the different like buckets that are present out of like in a project abstract. Now in a very similar fashion, the other two like tasks that we have in our JSPF journey, right, I've also like separated out them as well in a similar tone. Maybe we look at them also quickly, but before going there, I just wanted to tell you about, there is if you're more interested to know about how prompts work, how a good prompt would be like able to get the best response, I've added the link of an like course like from Coursera, which is quite free to audit. So feel free to like click this link and find this course. This is I don't think so it will take like a lot of time. So if you spend some like half a day, I think you would be able to like complete this entirely. So yeah, if you want to get to know more about prompt engineering, like go for this. Now, very similarly, how we had we had divided the project abstract, we can divide the statement of purpose also. So in statement of purpose, what you can have something introduction, setting up the stage about yourself, and then like we can discuss some of the pivotal moments that was part of your journey till this point in time, where each moment could carry like cover about different aspects. Probably the first moment could be the discovery of your step, like where through some incident would have happened and you would have performed something and you would have realized, okay, I'm able to do all this stuff, right? So I'm really like strong enough to take up this task and complete this very casually, right? So that is some aspect which we can tell about the discovery of strength, and you can discuss about what you did there and why did you feel in such a way that you are very comfortable with that, and what you had achieved. Those things could be part of this moment. And second is something like which is again a very critical part of our journey, which is confronting our challenge. Similar, the way we have a like a natural edge on certain things, right? Few things might not be very comfortable for us at the first go. So we might have faced a challenge and then we would have decided, okay, now this is something I need to work upon. And I'll have a plan and I'll try to execute that plan. This could be part of a second pivotal moment, which is confronting a challenge. And then third is something like which is like super useful for others as well as us, which is like realization of a broader purpose. When you get to understand these experiences, right, you tend to like feel, okay, if I'm able to do this thing, this is going to benefit a lot of people, and this is something could be something close to your heart or make you feel better too. So that could be like something you can write it under realization of broader purpose. So these are different moments that you got to under like experience, right? In these different moments, now you can say like what are like learning that you got. So you would have understood, okay, if this is happening, then probably I should do this aspects like focus really well. And you can also learn that this is something it's good to avoid so that I don't like end up doing the same mistakes again. So that is something you can be part of the SOP, and you can discuss about the learnings and the clarity that you had gained out of these different pivotal moments. And at last, we have the leveraging the learnings. Once you have the learning set, right, now how we are going to use the learnings in your future goals or the days ahead. So that is going to be something part of the statement of purpose and section leveraging the learnings. And once you have all these things said, right, now you can put like all the final thoughts in your conclusion, and you can like sort of give a closure to your SOP over there. Similarly, we have the for the community essay. Here there are different sections, like first introduction, where you tell about the problem like or the aspect of for the community that you're going to do, and then like you can tell about the origin of the problem. Suppose for this aspect, right, like let's take an example like the hygiene in our hostels. This could be an aspect. You can say what is the origin of the problem. You can discuss about different aspects, either is it from like lack of staff or lack of amenities, or the sort of like old fashioned like structure that we have. It could be anything. So this could be a origin of the problem. Now you can discuss about the repercussions of this. So if there is no hygiene, what would be the cost? It might affect the students, or it might like affect the entire academic community. It affects the productivity, like it puts more stress towards the hospital infra, a lot of things out there. Now you can propose a solution to this. So you can say like sort of like automated like bath fittings, or automated like hardwares, and having more staff, building like more or else like cleaning more, increasing the frequency of like the cleanings that are being done carried out in the hostels, something like that. And once you had listed different solutions, right, now how we are going to implement, so what, whom you are going to bring in, like what is the operating procedure that is going to happen, so those things would be part of the implementation strategy. And then you can discuss about the impact that it is going to create. Once you have this, what are the benefits, be it like the well-being of the students, or else it can be the productivity that is being brought in the academic arena, or even any other benefit that you find part of this process. And again, like once you discuss all these things, like you can add your closure as part of the conclusion. So right now we got to understand about the different aspects of JSPF, and then what are the like how do we go for a prompt, right? Now why don't we go for an activity? So the instructions are pretty simple. Like you can form a group of 5 students, and what you can do is like create a project, mock project abstract. This need not be like aligned to your final solution. This is something like for the purpose of today's session itself, which need not go more than 200 words, and just create a project abstract which is like common for you all 5 people, and then use GPT to like iterate the like abstract. These 200 words now, just iterate it. Say, okay, these are some things you gave. This is something not fine. You improve it, and then in these areas you improve it and provide a new one. And then do this 2 times, and then share the final chat to the given email ID. The we want the entire chat, not just the final abstract alone, like what you told to refine and what is the final chat that you have. Share the entire thing to this given email ID, which is applicant engagement.jspf@gmail.com.
You'll get a sorry about that. You should find a request to join your breakout rooms now. Please join that. ஆ கொஞ்சம் டைம் ஆகும். நீங்க சாப்பிடுங்க நான் வரேன். Dhanuja, Pranav, Rajashri, please join the breakout rooms. You've been assigned to 3, so you should find a message to join. Pranav, are you able to hear us? Okay. Balaji, if you'd like, I think you should be able to join any of the breakout rooms if you want to
Yeah,
just
sure.
join them and see how it's going. Hi, Mohit. Are you able to hear us? Okay. Hi, Balaji.
I can see. Yeah.
There were people in this room, right?
There was one guy.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Because there's no one in the main room as well. There's only Pranav, and the breakout room numbers are also dropping. I'm not sure why people are leaving.
Okay.
Um, do you want me to close the rooms? Or do you want me to wait for a few more minutes before I send?
I see like in room 3, like what they're doing. They're discussing something mostly. They discuss what.
Yeah, sure. I have my mail open. We haven't gotten any response. I'll let you know if we get anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
So yeah, guys, I think you're done with the session, right? I mean, the activity. Cyrus, are you saying something?
Sir,
Cool, guys. I think we can go ahead. So I just want to like touch upon like two different aspects. I think post that like would be good to close. I hope like all of you are back from the breakout rooms. So yeah. So next is like something like pretty more important, but it is like gaining more importance in the recent days. That is the ethical use of AI. So just to let you know, like LLM should be only your ally, but not a replacement. So at no point, like as I said earlier, LLM shouldn't be like your face. You should at no point like show LLMs work entirely as your own work. LLM is there to enhance our work. We need to like guide the LLMs and then produce a better, more authenticated version of ourselves through LLMs, like with the help of LLM, but not the entire thing itself. Because like when you do a content like personalize a content, then it makes more and more like relatable and valuable rather than just like presenting a flat toned content that is present out of LLM. So just a simple control C and control V, right? It always like brings down the value of the work that you're going to submit. And then like the most important thing is that always cross check the facts that are offered by LLMs, especially in cases like project abstracts where the facts are like pretty essential. Do always cross check them. Again, LLMs are not like they don't always guarantee the exact fact. So just carry out this practice. And as I told earlier, like avoid the overuse of LLMs. It will definitely impact your creativity and it will kill our authenticity. So for this purpose, right, like use it only when you need it and use it only to enhance your work, but not to replace the basic work and the human touch that you're going to get. And at last, like finally to conclude, right, LLMs can help in like structuring your ideas and bring more clarity to for us and be your language partner. Like it can polish your language, enhance the choice of words that you use, and it can make it very concise. However, like it's your authenticity and experience and like the reflection that you get out of the process, right? That is the entire human learning, and that is what going to bring in the next set of revolution and innovation that is being needed for the world to prosper better. So always ensure that LLM should be in like and like enhancing tool, but not like a replacement. So to say like the best result would be obtained when a human goes along with the AI in a like very ethical and effective way, and that is something like we are supposed to have in the upcoming days when we work with the LLMs. So just to conclude, like scholarships are not just won by ideas, but with clarity and your own authenticity, and human and AI together can like help you achieve this in a great way. So go for it. I think there are a lot of things ahead, like waiting for you guys in terms of career, in terms of this scholarship journey, and a lot. So make it the best way for like beneficial for you as possible. And we are here to help you out whenever you have any doubts or you want to talk to us. Just take ping us through WhatsApp. I think you'll be. I had just put a message today in our group. So that is it, guys, from me. Thank you. Thanks for joining the session, and all the best for your guys for the days ahead.
Thank you so much, Balaji, for having this session today. I hope
Yeah.
all of the participants today learned a lot of new things and learned how to effectively. I think everyone knows AI chatbots, but it's not really very common knowledge how to use them effectively. So I hope they got to learn something new today. If you have any doubts, please feel free to unmute and ask. I think we can keep the meeting open for a while more.
Sure.
If you guys have doubts or you have any comments, please feel free to unmute.
Cool, guys. Like we'll wait. I'll wait in the call for next 3 minutes. If there is something like let me know, or else feel free to talk the call.